out the legs and reach the arms overhead and just pull some length through the spine, creating space, including the breath. Let's inhale. Exhale, reaching longer. Flexing and pointing the feet. Bringing the hands to the ribs. Let's inhale, breathe into the rib cage. Expansion and exhale. Feel the ribs move closer together as the breath leaves. Again, inhale, breathing in. Exhale, point the toes. One more time, inhale, breathing in, flex the feet. And point the toes. Draw rib cage together. Stay connected with your breath. Interlace the fingers, press the palms to the sky. Reach overhead and just give the knees a little shake, shake, shake. Your next inhale, bend the knees, bringing the feet onto the mat and open those arms out into a T position. And let's drop the knees to the side. Stay for a breath in. Exhale, pull the ribs in and the abdominals as we transition legs over to the other side. Hold for the inhale. And exhale, abdominals, rib cage, moving from that core, connecting the breath to the core. And bring the legs over to the other side one last time for that inhale. And exhale, deepen abdominals, and then begin the move back to the center. Bring those knees in, holding under or on top of the legs as you prefer. And let's rock side to side. Feel that pressure in the low back. Another breath in. Another exhale. Bringing awareness to the midsection, the rib cage, the core, and even that pelvic floor, drawing the pelvic floor up and in. Bringing the feet down onto the mat, hip width apart. Let's extend one leg up to the sky and lowering that leg, hovering above the ground, flexing and lifting. Some footwork, pointing down and flexing up. Find a nice controlled flow with the leg, connected to the breath, which is connected to the core. And if you can, extend your opposite leg straight down to the floor. Keep that going, reaching the arms up to the sky, increasing our core connection by removing the assistance from the arms, pressing down into the ground. And if you want to kick this up a little bit more, we'll reach the arms overhead, hovering above the ground. Now, check your low back is not arching. We'll try one more time with that leg, lowering and lifting, and then lower the arms, point the toes, and lower the leg. Take a breath here. Check in, see how you feel. Bring the feet back to the mat and extend leg number 2 up to the sky. Let's lower the leg, hovering. Flex the foot, reach the heel up. Point and lower, flex and lift. We're going to keep the hips and pelvis super stable, so no movement, no arching or rounding. Let's reach the arms to the ceiling, palms facing in. Stay connected to your breath. And then option to extend that second leg straight down into the ground. And finally, reaching arms overhead and hovering. Now check you're not shrugging the shoulders. Draw shoulder blades gently towards each other. And try one more leg lift up and down. Bring the leg back up to the ceiling and we'll lower those arms to the ground. Point the toes and slowly, with control, lower that leg down. Give it a little shake, shake, shake from the knees, releasing any tightness or tension in the hip flexors. Now, if you're feeling those hip flexors, you're not using your core enough. So what you're going to do is you're going to modify, maybe keeping the knee bent instead of extending that opposite leg, and also deepening the space in between the hip bones, really trying to connect deeper to our deeper abdominal muscles. Go back to bending the knees so the feet are pressing down parallel into the ground. Arms by the side. Let's extend one leg back up to the ceiling. And now we're going to draw some circles. They're more like ovals, so they're a little bit long at the bottom. They're lowering down. We'll go for about 6 or 7 of these. And of course, you have all the same options, reaching the arms up to the ceiling if you like. Extending that opposite leg. Now let's reverse the circles. And if you feel like you've got a really good core connection, stability in the hips, we can extend the arms overhead for these last 2, last 1, and lower the arms and exhale, lengthen that leg longer as it lowers down. Big inhale here. Let's exhale. Draw ribs in, bring feet back to the mat, and set up for side number 2. Extend the leg and point the toes, and let's start the circles. And then we'll build the level of intensity as we need. Maybe this is fine. This might be where you're most connected to your core. So check in, tune in, see about your breath and your alignment. Maybe you can extend the second leg. Maybe reaching arms up to the ceiling. Really still in those shoulders and arms. Let's reverse the direction of the circle, more like an oval, getting a little bit low at the bottom. Very smooth and graceful. Reach arms overhead if you can, but check if your rib cage popped up higher to the ceiling and deepen it into the body with the breath. Last oval. Bring the leg back up, lower the arms down, and then long lengthening leg lowers. Give it a little shake, shake, shake at the bottom with the knees. Maybe some karate chops at the hip flexors, because yes, you are strengthening through your quads and through your hip flexors, but you want that to be secondary to your primary core objectives. Big inhale, exhale, rib cage softens. Bend the knees, bring the feet back to the mat, arms by the side, and let's lift both legs up into tabletop now. The knees right on top of the hips. I have a little bit of space between the knees. Extend one leg straight, but the other knee is going to stay put, and then we'll switch and switch and switch. Very precise. I'm taking my fingertips just to my low back and then letting that low back gently, slightly sink down into the fingertips, just a little bit, like 3%, just to deepen our core connection here. Now keep that core connection and reach the arms to the sky. Switch and switch. Zip up those low abdominals. You know you have the option with the arms reaching overhead, but don't just do it to do it. Make sure you're still connected to the ribs deepening, the core strengthening, the hips stabilizing. 3, 2, 1. Come back to your tabletop position and lower the arms. And then one at a time, lower. the legs. Stretch the arms to a T shape. Bring the feet so they're connecting and let the knees just drop out and bring it back in. Let's do 2 more times. Dropping knees out. Exhale. Bring it back together. Last time, dropping out. Bring it back together. Looking over one shoulder and then the other. Reach those arms a little longer. Turn palms down to the ground. And one last time, look and look. Lovely. Bring the arms by the side. Exhale. Deepen those abdominals. Soften the ribs. Pick up the legs into tabletop. Arms by the side. Now this time, both legs are reaching out. And then bend back in. Can you go for full extension? So extend the knees straight, even a little bit more, even a little bit more, and even a little bit more. Did your low back lift? Did your rib cage pop? Did your core disengage? So check and then bring it back in. It is actually more challenging to do these moves from a neutral spine with no flexion in the upper spine than it is when you lift the head. Yes, you feel your upper abdominals more when you lift the head, but you're not getting as much work in your lower abdominals because the movement of flexing up is helping you keep your low back heavier. When you lower the head down, your core now has to take on that work. So exhale. Think of a bunch of little marshmallows. I don't know why marshmallows, but marshmallows at your low back and middle back. And as the legs extend out, the marshmallows, you press into them. Let's add the arms. The legs extend out. The arms lift up. And then bring it back. Now, I like to do this on an exhale. And then inhale to bring it back. It's very common to reverse the breath. To inhale and lengthen, and then exhale, deepen those abdominals to pull it back in. It works both ways. So you decide which feels right for you. Keeping arms up now. Let's try 2 more. Exhale, reach. One more time, pull abdominals in, press into those marshmallows, and wow, lots to think about. Bring it back in and go back to that rocking from side to side. Big recovery, inhale, and exhale. Lovely, okay. Let's extend the legs all the way up to the ceiling now, arms by the side. We'll point the toes and a little bit of space in between the legs. Take one leg and lower it at least halfway down. Some of us can go a little bit lower, but watch, our main focus is the midsection. It's not about the legs being lower or higher, it's about the core engagement. So if you can still stay connected to your core, that leg can go lower. Let's bring it up and try the second leg. Exhale, ribs in, belly button deeper, shoulders relaxed, pelvic floor lifting, and your next exhale again, bring it back up. Takes lots of concentration. Let's rest the arms by the side and try again. Little faster, down and switch. Now we incorporate the flow, both legs moving at the same time, your attention at the midsection. Switch and switch. Let's change up the footwork into flexed feet. And scissor. And scissor. Now if you're feeling those hip flexors too much, soften your knees. Get into your core a little bit more by modifying. Reach the arms up if you can, and switch. And marshmallow press. Switch and switch. Arms reaching overhead. Let's go 4. Point the toes. 3. Flex the feet. 2. Point the toes. 1. Flex the feet, both legs up. Pull those toes to the shins. Reach the arms by the side. And exhale, soften knees. Bring the feet down. Now I'm going to keep the feet very close together, the legs connected, the arms open, and I'm going to twist from here. You'll feel the stretch differently in the body when the legs are together, as opposed to if the feet are mat width apart. Turn the palms down, looking over that opposite shoulder. Let's do 3 and a 2. One more time. And then come back to the center, arms by the side, and lift both legs back up where they were. Externally rotate. So the heels are together, the toes are apart, the knees are rotating out, the inner thighs are rotating out. And let's lower. Now this one is super tricky from neutral spine. Most people do this wrong. Most people do this with their quads and their hips, and they let their back totally arch. So we are going to bring our hands right on top of our belly button, lower abdominals. And now exhale, feel your abs trying at least to pull away from the palms. Now try lowering the legs, not too far. Bring it back up. Why not too far? Because we want to stay in the core, not the hips, not the back, certainly not the neck. Soften your shoulders and exhale again. Lengthen the legs longer away from the body. Feel the abs pulling away from the palms. That is so tricky to do. Not the abs pushing up into the palms, pulling away. 2 more. This move is so much easier when you lift the head from the floor. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bring it back. Wow, keeping that external rotation. We're going to find the ankles, the feet, dropping heels low for a nice stretch. And if you want to rock it out side to side, you can do that, or you can just hold still in the center. Big inhale. Long letting go. Exhale. And let's visit that total body stretch again.